Greetings from the unimaginably picturesque and quaint community of Woodstock, Vermont. I'm Brice Shirbach, and this is Mountain Bikers Riding Bikes talking about trails. Woodstock is in central Vermont on the eastern flanks of the Green Mountains. It's incredibly beautiful. It's very, very famous for its beauty. It's an historic town, kind of straight out of a Rockefeller painting. There are 3 different places to ride in this small community. You have Saskadina 6, which is a ski area, formerly known as Suicide 6, was intended to be a lift-serve bike park. They shut that down during COVID, but you still are permitted to ride up the access road and pick your amazing adventure down. You have Mount Peg, which offers the highest volume of trail riding here in the area, and then you have where I am right now, the Aqueduct. All 3 of the trail networks are different in their own ways, but they all have amazing dirt, and they are probably pound for pound the most fun trails that you can have in the state of Vermont. WAMBA, which is the Woodstock Area Mountain Bike Association, is the group that's tasked with stewarding these trails and advocating for them. And today I'm talking with Seth Westbrook, a founding member of WAMBA, and also Gavin Vaughan, who's a pro rider and a professional trail builder. This episode's a little bit different than the others. I was actually here earlier this summer producing this and had an amazing conversation and day with Seth and Gavin, getting into the weeds about the trails and trail building and advocacy and stewardship. Unfortunately, my ability to capture the action was a bit lackluster, and we needed to come back here and so I could actually point the camera up the trail.
How can I build this as efficiently as possible? Like not having to move a ton of material. We do a lot more material moving now that I've got a young high school kid helping me, but and there, you know, if you're trying to dig like an entire trail, the more you can use the terrain to your advantage, the better. Like all these natural rolls and depressions. The exception, like here, you know, that all works naturally really well. But you get to this point where you're heading this way, but there's like a really cool section over here that I want to try to link. So like then it was like, okay, I'm gonna have to spend some time and put a big old hand-dug berm here.
Yeah. Just because you need to now change direction, really. You
gotta change direction. There wasn't anything here other than like this natural bank rolling in. You then had to just carve in,
yeah,
you know, and build and stack it up. Like this trail in particular, I think a lot of it was built with one of those like yellow Nucola McLeods.
Yeah.
Like the hurt on that thing?
Yeah, there's like a tool. I should have saved it because like it was so worn. Like it was the tool that built this.
From this trail?
Yeah, and it was just like so hammered.
I have a picture of it somewhere.
That's good. At least we got like photo evidence.
There's like a new one, you know, that's all square, and then there's the one Gavin's been using, and it's like, wow, just big old radius corners, and the thing's just like a rotten old tooth, you know. Beat on. This tree actually fell pretty recently.
Okay.
So it
Like
placed
just
itself
right
pretty
there?
conveniently.
I just happened to fall like right on the wall.
Yep, nailed it. So we'll use that now.
Like this steep natural drop off here, all fern covered this time of year. Just kind of gives you some cool exposure that you don't typically have around here. Yeah. Pretty unique. You get a little bit of it on the climb in too on the other side. But yeah, it's kind of cool to, you know, rip that section we just did, and then you kind of have a little recovery climb, slight little break, and then you just a little exposure, and then you drop in again to this kind of pump tracky section here.
A little bit of off-camber tech. Keep it interesting.
Yep. Yeah, it's been interesting.
But you've got options.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch. I figured more riders would come down here.
Yeah. You would think that.
But so many. This has gotten really worn in, and they're just taking this line. I don't see any tracks on this.
You need a cathro cam here.
Yeah, to break down. I do wonder if like this is kind of like presents easier, but it also you got to turn back uphill a little bit out of it. And it's
like in a race scenario, I would still suspect that that's slightly quicker.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you can.
There's no real reason to check up.
You can trust your tires here.
Right.
Almost pre-hop off that and get good downside there, and then get some pedal strokes.
Yeah.
Set you up for that next section.
Like if there was a couple big holes or something that really like forced you to kind of like do a little brake check before you entered it, but this is still a section where you can just completely hum across it without any interruption. Nice.
When you find a spot like this around here, you're like, oh, this is definitely going into a trail. Like we're definitely bringing a trail through here.
Yeah, I remember walking this very early for the permit, and we're like, is anything possible up there? And we got kind of up there. We were looking down here like,
oh yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I remember the first time coming up here, and then like I feel like I was around for maybe your first walk. Like I got to see like what I felt the first time. Like, oh,
nice, yeah.
Special up here.
Yeah, sure is.